Hello, Jeremy. Nice to have you today.
Yeah, my pleasure, thank you.
And as you know, MA is coming back.
Yeah.
And I would like to know more about your experience as you've been through the process. Do you think that when you went to see companies, people look at you and thought, oh, here's MA. I never met a coach or a consultant that has a master's degree.
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, I think some consultants do have masters, and some coaches do. What I think about it just gave me just a little bit of extra confidence. As I said, not that I needed it. Just that I'm kind of okay. I don't have a PhD, but I'm kind of more on a par.
Yeah.
And it's just something if relevant, I would throw into a conversation. And sometimes you could just see people would just look at you just slightly differently. Not that I was looking for that, I just couldn't help but notice it.
Well, it's you've done, so you're not going to not say something that you have done.
Yeah. And also I did some work as a guest lecturer as well. And again, the fact that I have a master's.
Open doors.
Open doors there.
Yeah.
And okay, there were some people with PhDs, but if you got a master's, again, the impression I got was, okay, people, they looked at me differently.
Yeah.
And I could talk about the research, and I've certainly quite recently did some work in Wales at a university where I was doing some leadership training, and I referred to, it's leadership training, but also it's resilience training. And I referred to some of the research from the masters, and again, it's even to a group of academics. If you say this is from my master's research, they'll sit up and listen.
Yeah. You're talking their language.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, what I notice nowadays, and as you know, I'm from Brazil, and I had a meeting with this top player in Brazil, and I said, well, we have the master's degree now, and all of this, and all the courses that goes under the umbrella of the master's. And then he said, well, in Brazil, the word coaching, it's not up there because anyone is a coach nowadays. And I was explaining to him that that's great. That's great that it's not doing well because we're not doing what they are doing.
Right.
They are doing 2 days online. I'm a coach. I'm a specialist in coaching.
Really?
Yeah. So it's something like this, or I do 3-4 days. And I go to companies selling my services now because I know how to sell myself. So it has nothing to do with the level that we are talking about.
Yeah.
So I thought this is, instead of what he was saying, oh, we have a barrier, we have a problem. And I said, no, we have a huge opportunity here, man.
Yeah.
And he does events for 4,000 people, and a database of 500,000 people. And I said, no, you're just looking into the problem. Just let's see from a different angle, because we're talking about quality.
Yes.
It's level 7, isn't it?
Yeah, and exactly. Having I think if you can have a combination of an academic qualification and practical experience, because it's coaching is not a theoretical.
No. Well, take this book and we talk tomorrow.
No. There's a lot of practice, but I think if you've got, for some clients, the fact that I've got a master's degree, I think is important to them.
Yeah. Because
maybe it's from their point of view, they want to. Maybe it's snob value. They're looking for, they're a bit snobbish about it, perhaps. It certainly gives you an element of credibility when you're coaching, that you can draw on some theories.
Yeah.
And it's not just about that, it's about, can you, in the moment when you're with your clients, coach them?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure people could necessarily do that after 2 days online training.
Yeah. You never met a real client
or never had real feedback and absolutely.
No, that's what I was talking to him and explained that actually it's great news. Thank you. I said, thank you for sharing with me. But even here in the UK, I do a lot of research and it's so many coaches. Yeah. Do you think this is something that it would take a coach to the next level?
Yes. Yeah, because whatever coaching qualities, qualifications, experience you have, if you've got a relevant and related master's degree, then it's going to separate you from people who haven't. So if you've got two equivalent coaches, same in terms of experience, one's got a master's, a relevant master's, and one doesn't. If I put myself in the shoes of the prospective buyer, the prospective, for example, the HR professional who's making the decisions, it's not going to do you any harm. And it will almost certainly, I think, be an additional tick in your favour.
What would you say? So let's say I'm the client. I'm thinking about doing, and I think, well, I'm not very academic, and
so you need a prospective student, somebody who wants to do the MA. Okay.
And it's all the normal excuses that we know, like, well, I don't have the time. I think I've done enough.
So you mean all the excuses I used before I did the math?
Yeah. How did you convince yourself? So it's a good point.
Well, exactly. I didn't have time, busy. All the things you've said. I think I'm certainly not an academic, by the way. That was a lie I used to give myself. There's a few things. One, I already had some previous study which was relevant for the masters. Yeah. And I knew a fair few people who'd done this course, and I thought, well, if they can do it, I can. And I guess I just thought, go for it. And I think if having the reason why is really important. So for me, the reasons why, one, it's some of the stuff I mentioned earlier in terms of credibility, etc. Yeah. But also the fact that I could do the dissertation, the project, on pretty much anything that floated my boat that really excited me. Yeah. And as I said, the project on mental strength in elite professional goalkeepers, it was great. It was fun. It was fun. It was meeting people. I'm super interested in meeting people who I really respect and gained more respect for as we went through. It was just so exciting. So, and to have something tangible to come out of it, and with commercial benefits as well. Yeah. So it actually opened a lot of doors.
What we managed to do this time with the University of Wales, it's to get the 3 levels very clear. So the entrance level, which it would be a post-graduation certification. It's just 2 essays and they're very practical. It's research-based but also client-based, so the experience you have. The way we frame this time with the university, it's much more practical. Even the dissertation, it's client-based, most of it. So even though I'm not an academic, I did robotic engineering, and it's just numbers. I've never done an essay. I've done 200 pages project, but the references and all of that, it was something that was stopping me to go forward. Yeah. And then someone told me, well, the worst case scenario, you just get a coach. And I said, oh, we're delivering a master's in coaching. I need a coach. And then they said, yes, because there is professionals, they just coach you how to write an essay. Yeah. And I thought, oh, I feel lighter now because I don't have to know everything.
And that was really important. I think certainly the MA I had a lot of support. It'd been a long time since I've been an academic assignment, and yours was robotics, mine was business, and I'm a qualified accountant, so very much business and numbers, yes. And then going to changing, obviously being a coach since 1999, it's a big shift from working with numbers to working with people. I think having someone guide you, someone encouraging you, and sometimes the coaches weren't necessarily, there for you. Pretty in my face is like, get this assignment done. But also helped me to break it down piece by piece. If someone said, 15,000 words on something, it's like, it's like, where do I start? But to break it down piece by piece. So that again really helped me. And when I got it clear in my mind about how to break it down, it was almost like the penny dropped, and I just kind of motored ahead with it. One of the other things I think I got from doing the MA, which I didn't mention earlier, was just the fact that you obviously have to do a fair amount of research.
Yeah.
And so I learned a lot more. Learning is really important to me.
Oh, yeah.
So learning or becoming familiar with different theories. You don't have to read like 1,000 textbooks, but just being able to read and read up on a few theories. Actually, I found that very helpful, very useful.
So looking back, Jeremy before the MA and Jeremy where he is now, and well, we have talked about this, and you're going to be involved in the delivery of the MA as well.
Yeah.
So what's the relationship between that Jeremy back then and this Jeremy here?
Listen, on one hand, what you see is what you get with me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say, oh, my life was terrible and now it's magnificent. I'm not saying that.
I didn't have a leg and I just rolled this one.
No. I mean, I think it's that additional level of confidence that didn't even occur to me that I needed. So as I said, going back those years when before I had the MA, I had a lot of qualifications. I didn't feel lacking.
So you didn't even know that you would have even more confidence.
Yes, exactly. It wasn't that I was lacking in confidence. I'd written books. I'd been training for years as a presenter and a trainer for years and coach for years. But it gave me something that I didn't know I needed.
Like a boost.
Yeah, it's a boost, and it's like I've got a master's degree.
It feels good.
Yeah, and I don't mean this in an arrogant way. I don't know. I'm boasting about it.
Yeah.
It's just. It's funny, like when I first started coaching in 1999, I was really mindful that I didn't have any qualifications. And guess what the questions prospective clients always used to ask me? What qualifications do you have for doing this? Like, and it's like the more qualifications I get, people don't even ask me now. It's almost so I guess subconsciously they're picking up that I've got the inverted commas qualifications or experience. And obviously, I think once I was proposing for some work, and part of the proposal was they required you to send in a list of your qualifications. So I did that, obviously, and certificates. But it was an additional boost that I didn't know I needed.
Is it almost like when you were not 100% sure about your qualifications, people were asking? And then suddenly you feel so comfortable in your own skin that no one is even asking because they're not getting.
They just know. Yeah. And that was obviously the various qualifications I picked up along the way. And I think the MA, for me, it was the icing on the cake. It was just, I'm really glad I did it.
So if I was looking for something like this, what advice you would give in relation to how to choose the right one, because there is not many but a few in the market. What's the top 3 things that you think me as a prospect student, what should I be looking at to make sure I get the right one for me?
So I'm going to just give you a few points, whether it's the top 3 I don't know, but certainly the quality of the tuition. Are the people who are training you, have they been there, seen it, done it? So I think some academic courses are taught solely by academics. So they'll know all the theory, but they may not have actually coached people. So I'd advise you to go with organisation, to do an MA where it's the people who are delivering the training have actually done.
They're coaches, they're seeing clients.
And a lot of clients. So that's one thing. I think the level of support you get from the tutors, from the university, both formal and informal support. Like, can you just pick up the phone? Can you drop an email? How responsive are they? I suppose the relationship, or how relevant the MA is to the work you have done and want to do. To choose something that's going to be relevant to you. It's an investment. It's an investment, financially and in your time and your effort and your energy. Make it really worthwhile for you.
And it's about what's happening today, not what you used 10 years ago.
No, it's today and going forward as well.
Yes.
And I guess also of course, it gives you the flexibility with your dissertation to choose something that, again, is really relevant and going to be potentially commercially useful for you.
Yeah, we have someone that the students, they're gonna have contact all the way, like a mentor,
Right.
to help them out in the last year doing the dissertation.
That'll be really
So they're gonna be in touch, samples of what has been done before, because I have done a few courses, not as many as you, and I find that as you trying to get an objective done, sometimes it's a lack of clarity.
Yeah.
So like, okay, you have a form of 100 pages, give me a sample, so I have an idea of what you're expecting from me, so I can prepare well. And taking that in consideration, some frustrations I had, I've been talking to Dr. Sally, and I said, I really want to support people that they feel safe. They feel like they know what they're doing, because I don't want you to be demotivated because I'm not clear in my communication with you. So I'm coming from that perspective that people, they just need to do the work. They don't have to worry about the structure, what comes first, second, and third.
Yeah.
We're here to support
Yes.
them.
Yes.
Is that helpful, you think?
Oh, absolutely, because certainly, as I say, I'd done a lot of qualifications, blah, 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 but somehow the Masters was a different level.
Yeah.
And there's a way of writing your dissertation.
Yeah.
That's, the accepted way of doing it. And if you haven't done that before, we need help from people who have done it. And so there's a difference between someone, there's some help, there's a book, go and read it.
Yeah, that's a reference.
Yeah, it's a reference, go and read the reference, compared to, let's sit down, let's talk,
Yeah.
tell me your concerns, what you've done so far.
Yeah.
And to really, I don't want to say hand-holding, because you're an adult, you expect to learn for yourself, to give you the real useful pointers.
And strategies, like you were saying about yours. Once I got the idea that if I break down in the small chunks, and then the pen drop, well, that's a specific strategy that someone gave to you.
Yeah, and it so worked for me. I remember the day it dawned on me what I needed to do, and so instead of it being this great big thing that I had to do that I couldn't see a way through, it's just like 5 or 6 key points. Oh, easy, now I can do it.
Is it anything else you'd like to add that you think people can consider, or in your experience?
Yeah.
And if someone is like thinking about career change, and there's a lot of people that I find on social media saying, well, tell me about coaching because I hate what I do. I'm thinking about doing a coaching course. And instead of going to a company like I described to you, 2 days online, and then they can call themselves a coach. So what do you think about people that are thinking about a new career?
Okay, so there's a couple of points. Specifically with the new career, I think the fact that people can do the postgraduate certificate first, and then if they want to go on and do postgraduate diploma and or the MA, then that allows people to kind of dip their toe in the water, get really useful skills. Because for me, in my opinion, coaching skills are incredibly useful, whether you're a professional coach or if you're a, inverted commas, line manager or a leader inside an organisation. Because one of the key ways to get a lot from the people who work for you is to take a coaching approach with them. So to be able to coach effectively is going to help you whether you're an actual coach or a line manager. So I think it's worth doing that anyway, even if you're not sure if you want to be a professional coach, dip your toe in the water. The other thing I think is, and this is something I had to not battle with, but I had to sort of examine in myself, was the idea of, can I do it? Am I smart enough to do it? Is this, those kind of questions, those, am I good enough, that sort of thing. So I would suggest if anyone who is thinking, I'd like to do it, but to really have a look at that but. Is it a limiting belief, using coaching jargon? Is it a limiting or self-limiting belief they have, which they would almost certainly overcome during
Yeah.
the course anyway, because they're going to go and they're going to be coached and coach others.
Yeah.
So I get them to examine any hesitation they have. If it's something they don't want to do, then don't do it, clearly. But if it's, I'd like to, but I'm not sure if I'm good enough or whatever, have a look at that.
I have a great strategy for this, and I use all the time. How do I know that I cannot do something? I cannot answer that question unless I try.
Yeah.
So I use this for everything.
Yeah.
And thanks that until today, it was nothing that I couldn't done.
Yeah.
Everything that I tried, it did work out.
Great.
And I think most of people, what's stopping them, it's the belief that maybe they're not capable, maybe that's not for them. But I find it very difficult to know the answer without trying.
Sure.
Because you can just imagine, or someone told you, but we're all different. Unless you try for yourself, it's very unlikely you're going to get the right answer.
That's a very interesting point, actually, though, is because as a coach, I think we have to model or demonstrate the attributes that we want our clients to have.
Yeah.
And if we're saying to our clients, listen, go for it, you can do it, but we're not prepared to do that ourselves, then maybe we need to ask ourselves, are we being congruent?
Yeah.
So in some ways, if not just for ourselves, for our clients as well, if we're willing to push ourselves beyond our own comfort zone, that will help our clients.
Even like this, I have this specialist in marketing, and the guy it's a guru, strategist, and he was telling me, you have everything, you have the content, you have the credibility now, you have the connections, and then he said, but the only way you're gonna make this, so you have the best hidden secret in the planet, no one knows about. and then he said, it's insane, but the way to do nowadays is to do videos, something like this. And I told him, I haven't done before. So I'm running a stack strategy that I clean the house, I do anything I can not to do. And then he said, why is that? And I said, I don't know, because, well, actually I know, and I know all the ways not to do that, but I keep running this strategy that, let me ask someone, but I don't. And then let me try, I want to do a video today, and I don't. And then now it's done. And so I'm congruent with what I keep telling people, like, you just do it.
Yeah.
So we booked the time, we came here, now it's done. Lisa accept to have another one done.
Oh, great.
And I have 2 people in Portugal, they also accept to talk about the courses. So I use what I learned from you, what I learned in other courses, and I apply it. And guess what? I like it.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's such an interesting point, because I didn't realise how much I would enjoy doing the MA until I actually started doing it.
Yeah.
So we can always find excuses. You know, some people, it's funny, when I was at doing my accountancy exams, even the ironing became more appealing than doing the revisions. You know what I mean? Because, as you said, we can always find excuses. Oh, my house was so tidy, but I hadn't done the revisions. So we can always find excuses not to do it.
I did 8 hours clean up in the salon on the day I supposed to record a 30 seconds videos. I did 8 hours.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Until 2 in the morning to make sure I couldn't do the 30 seconds.
Because you were too tired at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, I cannot feel my shoulders, my neck. I'm not looking good.
I
so
did a shave.
So I think it's just put in the diary. It helps to have someone that, okay, we agreed, I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then just do it.
Yeah.
So nice to talk to you.
You too.
I think this was good, fun, very friendly talking. I hope people get some ideas from this, and anything else we can always come back and talk a bit more.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.